The Lewis and Clark expedition really comes out of the Thomas Jefferson administration, and it's Jefferson's vision to see what's out in the American West. And one of the things that Lewis and Clark were supposed to find was a Northwest Passage that would allow the United States to trade with the Far East, particularly with China. And I think he's really trying to set up a situation in which the United States, which is a very young nation, can compete with the British, the French, and the Germans in terms of global empire, in terms of global trade and things like that. Although the Louisiana purchases occurred and the United States owns a big portion of the land that Lewis and Clark will go through, they're essentially trespassing into other people's property, Native Americans, of course. Jefferson is very interested in the Native American populations that are out there, culturally, socially, and economically, and thinking about the relationship that the United States will have with them as people begin to move out into what is now becoming the American West. So, Lewis and Clark come together. They don't know each other. They act as co-captains, but they're very different types of men, and there's a lot of conflict actually between them when they start out. We now know that Lewis was probably a manic depressive of some kind. He suffered tremendously from depression. And essentially they head up the Mississippi River and nobody hears from them for almost 2 years. One thing you have to remember is that there's very little communication. And there's some point, I think, where the American public has forgotten about them. I think the other thing you want to think about is that they're not alone out there in this wilderness, if you will. They're coming into constant contact with Indian fur traders, French fur trappers. There's this very cosmopolitan, eclectic group of people who are out in the West. Jefferson certainly worries about them. He doesn't know where they are. There's some concern that they won't come back. And when they do emerge, coming down the Mississippi River, people are sort of surprised to see them. They'd almost forgotten where they had gone.